I want to welcome Her Excellency the Vice President, who is with us, and the Right Honorable Speaker, who has joined this session, and all of you honorable colleagues. This sitting is entirely dedicated to paying tribute to our brother, the Right Honorable Simon Peter Aleper, former Member of Parliament for Moroto Municipality and member of the Central Executive Committee of the NRM, where he's been serving as the Vice Chairperson for Karamoja Sub-Region. He was a distinguished legislator who represented his people with dedication. Some of you are seeing his videos today, are playing on our screens, and he did this with a lot of commitment. He worked so hard during his time as a Member of Parliament, especially for the pacification of the Karamoja sub-region. Honorable Aleper contributed immensely to the debates in the House, focusing on improving infrastructure in the Karamoja sub-region and food security for his people, if we are to be specific. He also worked hard to ensure that children from Karamoja were off the streets of Kampala. On the 11th of March 2015, Honorable Simon Peter Aleper had this to say: "As we talk now, a new form of child trafficking is taking place, where parents take their children to a market during auction days, pretending to be buying animals, and the buyers also go to the market pretending to be buying animals, but in the process, you find them exchanging items and money for the children. So what measures is government putting in place to control this?" This shows the extent at which he loved the children and his people, and this problem which was prevalent in Karamoja sub-region. You can get more from the Hansard, the records are there, and you'll find that indeed he was an astute legislator who knew the areas that focus on and the impact they would create on his community in relation to his submissions on the floor. He served his part of the NRM with dedication and supported implementation of all government programs irrespective of where they are located. Even if I raised so much on what Honorable Aleper was doing for Karamoja, he was a nationalist. He has very many aspects of the debate he contributed to and issues he raised on the floor that covered the whole country in its entirety. But as you know, Karamoja being a special sub-region and having its unique issues, he was very vocal in bringing those issues to the floor, especially when some people had the old adage around of saying Uganda will not wait for Karamoja to develop. He said no, issues of Karamoja must be brought so that Uganda develops with the rest of Karamoja. Uganda cannot develop when Karamoja is not developing. That is something Honorable Aleper pushed for so much. On 12th May 2015, the Honorable Aleper, as per the Hansard record, convinced the House to support funding when most members wanted to stop funding. In his words, he had this to say: "In my view, I think it is prudent for this House to approve this money until such a time when somebody will come out to challenge our decision with evidence that this project is a failure. What we are getting now is that the farmers are succeeding and the project is going successfully. I support this project." These were in relation to the challenges that face some projects to do with agriculture, and the House was debating that they shouldn't be supported. But for him, he said, "No, I'm on the government side. I've studied this very well, and I'll continue supporting government positions as a true cadre of the NRM." He was a good mobilizer who worked tirelessly to bring the people of Karamoja together to ensure development of the region. Allow me to extend my sincere condolences on my own behalf and on behalf of the Parliament of Uganda to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda and the Chairman, NRM Party, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Central Executive Committee of the party, especially members whom I see in the gallery, who had become family with him, and I'm very sure they will continue being family with his family. The widow, the children, and the entire family of the late. The people of Karamoja sub-region and entire Uganda for losing such a gallant son at a very young age of 49. He had reached the prime. In football, we say when you reach around 25 years, that's when you've reached the prime. Here, Aleper had reached a prime age of making very focal contribution to the country's development. May the good Lord grant the family of Honorable Aleper fortitude in overcoming grief, and may the ever merciful and loving Lord grant the Honorable Aleper eternal peace. Clerk.
Transfer of the casket.
Item 4 on the other paper, label reads the right honorable speaker. the leader of the opposition in Parliament. The government chief whip. The chief opposition whip. FDC whip. UPC whip. DP whip. German whip. UPDF. Karamoja Parliamentary Group. Bunyoro Parliamentary Group. Sepei Parliamentary Group. NRM Secretariat. Teresaco. The independents in Parliament. Usoga Parliamentary Group. Ankole Parliamentary Group. Group. Chigezi Parliamentary Group. Five on the other paper. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Aleper Simon Peter, former Member of Parliament and member of the Central Executive Committee of the NRM.
Before I call the Prime Minister to move the motion, being a special day, bring special guests. So today I created a special seat for the former Deputy Speaker of the Legislature, who happens to be also the National Vice Chairperson of the NRM, Right Honorable Alhaji Moses Chigongo, who is with us here. Thank you. Honorable colleagues, also on the technical bench this afternoon, we have immediate family members of the late Honorable Simon Peter Aleper. They include Mrs. Nadia Scholastic, Lokoa Trevor Aleper, the son, Aleper Tiakla, the daughter, Aleper Mary Tekra, daughter, Lomuge Trisha Natari Aleper, daughter, Achia Tamara Aleper, daughter, and Nakong Tracy Shiba Aleper, a daughter. They have come to witness as we pay special tribute to their foreign father. Mr. Gaddafi Nasur, National Chairperson, NRM Youth League. Honorable Lydia Wanyoto, Chairperson, Women's League of the NRM. Honorable Rose Namaya Jansereko, Deputy Secretary General of the NRM. Ambassador Barbara Nekesa Oundo, National Treasurer of the NRM. Major Awich Pola, Director, External Affairs of the NRM Secretariat. Hajat Medina Naham Ojare, Director, Administration and Finance of the NRM. Dr. Tanga Odoy and Honorable Emmanuel Dombo Rumara, Director, Media and Public Relations at the NRM Secretariat. Some of these colleagues, Chirunda, Honorable Naomi Stella Nyomera, and I'm seeing the Honorable Rosa Kor for EARA. I'll be getting more risks as the crack. The Honorable Rose Seninde, Director for Mobilization at the NRM, former Minister and former Member of Parliament for Wakiso, Woman Member of Parliament. Thank you. I'm sorry I was reading from the list which was given to me, but I'm seeing our brother, Mr. Kato Gabriel. Chairperson, more names as they come in, so that we recognize. Thank you, colleagues, for coming to observe proceedings of this House as we pay tribute to our colleagues, others are friends, others are well-wishers. We recognize your presence all. Thank you. Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I move under Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Aleper Simon Peter for his distinguished service to this nation. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, whereas the Parliament of Uganda received with deep sorrow the sad news of the demise of Honorable Simon Peter Aleper, former Member of Parliament for Moroto Municipality, which occurred on Tuesday, 23rd July 2024, aware that Honorable Aleper Simon Peter was at the time of his demise a member of the National Resistance Movement Central Executive Committee, where he served as the Vice Chairperson for Karamoja Region. Further aware that Honorable Aleper Simon Peter was a prominent figure in the politics of Karamoja, having served as a Member of Parliament for Moroto Municipality from 2011 to 2016, wherein he boldly spoke against programs that disrupted the productivity of the region and vehemently supported programs that improved the welfare of his people, recognizing that Honorable Aleper Simon Peter also served in distinguished positions in international organizations which have specific focus on the growth of the Karamoja region, such as Program Officer for the National United Nations Development Program, UNDP, Zonal Project Officer for World Vision International, Community Dialogue Officer for the International Rescue Committee, and Moroto District Peace Monitor. Further recognizing that Honorable Aleper Simon Peter has been instrumental in the economic development and social progress of Karamoja region and the nation at large, having superintended the negotiations that saw the people of Karamoja agree to the establishment of a cement factory in Moroto, which became a source of employment for many, appreciating that Honorable Aleper Simon Peter was a patriot who loved his country and dedicated his life to the development of the people of Karamoja, the NRM party, and Uganda at large, and therefore deserves the recognition of this parliament and the state. Now, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, be it resolved that Parliament collectively conveys its deepest condolences to the bereaved family, friends, the people of Karamoja, the NRM party, and Uganda for the loss of a distinguished son of this country. And Parliament takes cognizance of the dedicated service that the late Honorable Aleper Simon Peter has rendered to the people of Karamoja, Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, the NRM party, and the people of Uganda. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to move.
Is the motion seconded? The Right Honorable Anita Mong, Speaker. The Honorable Robert Mwesigwa Rukari. The Honorable Huda Oreru. The Honorable Lokelis Peter. The Honorable Gidudu. The Honorable Leader of Opposition, Honorable Sewungu Joseph, the Honorable Komor Joseph Midi, the Honorable Aleper Moses, the Honorable Adome Francis, Honorable Loki John Baptist, Honorable Loki Peter Abrams, Honorable Rokor Albert, Honorable Rokwanga Philip Rukor, Honorable Atianga Stella, Honorable Aleper Margaret, Honorable Nakwanga Christine Tubo, Honorable Rokwanga Hilary, Honorable Was Livia, Honorable Nakut Face, Honorable Kormo Janet, Honorable Bartum Ben Koryang, the Honorable Matthias Mpuga, the UPDF, and all members. Now for record, if you saw what I followed, looking at our principals and members of SEC, I wanted them to go on record, then the members of the Karamoja parliamentary group is very, very important. And then the rest of us, and the whip of Gemma. Right? Oh. Sorry. Honorable Minister Nyakun, my sister, sorry. I've been with her at church. I want her to go on record. She stood up. I'm so sorry. I just got a list for Karamoja and the Honorable Minister for Ethics. All ministers for Karamoja. Thank you. I'm sorry, Honorable colleagues. Right Honorable Prime Minister, would you love to speak to your motion?
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, this is my justification. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, on Monday, 23rd July 2024, the country received the disheartening news of the passing on of Honorable Aleper Simon Peter, the NRM Vice Chairperson, Karamoja Region, through a tragic road accident at Bukona along the Iganga-Tirinyi Highway. Honorable Aleper Simon Peter was a member of Parliament for Moroto Municipality in the 9th Parliament. Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, Honorable Simon Peter Aleper was born on 26 December 1974 to the late Mr. Mary Rochap Peter and the late Mrs. Lomuge Martha. He completed Mary Primary School in 1988, attended Moroto High School from 1989 to 1992, and attained ordinary level certificate of education. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the late attended Cornerstone Leadership Academy from 1994 to 1996 and got an advanced level certificate of education. He studied at Makerere University, Kampala from 1996 to 1999 and attained a Bachelor of Arts honors in political science and philosophy. He studied at Kampala International University from 2017 to 2022 and completed a Bachelor's of Legal Laws. He was still a student at the Law Development Center for a bar course. Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the late Honorable Aleper was a competent professional in handling social and technical work. He was able to work in the field under emergency conditions and in a multicultural environment. This is ably portrayed in his career below. In 2001 to 2002, a district peace building monitor and secretary to the Small Arms Disarmament Program in Karamoja. 2003 to 2004, Community Dialogue Officer for Karamoja. In the year 2004 to 2006, he was a Zonal Project Officer for Northern Uganda Youth Rehabilitation Project. In 2008 to 2009, National United Nations Volunteer, a district coordinator for United Nations Development Program. The late Honorable Simon Peter Aleper underwent various on-job training as shown below. In 1999, he trained as a training of trainers in conflict resolution and conflict management by the Center for Conflict Resolution in Mbale. In the year 2000, he trained in skills and strategies for conflict transformation by the Center for Conflict Resolution in Kampala. Yet, Honorable Speaker, in 2001, training in Management and Planning Improvement Program on Social Sector in Mbale. In 2002, he trained capacity building of community-based organizations on finance and reporting in Mbale. 2002, he underwent a training in preparatory rural approaches in Kampala. 2003, training in HIV and AIDS awareness, raising and counseling in Mbale. 2003, training in famine and early warning systems. The late Honorable Aleper Simon Peter carried out various short-term assignments, as mentioned below. Support personnel for Northern Uganda Reconciliation Program, carried out needs assessment and consultative stakeholder workshops in the entire northern region under the Office of the Prime Minister, conducted research on pastoral network in the Great Horn of Africa, carried out a drought assessment in Karamoja under the supervision of the World Food Program. Right Honorable Speaker, coordinator, Karamoja Education Support Trust, a community-based organization. known as KEST. The late Honorable Aleper Simon Peter was a hard-working member of the NRM who rose through the ranks. In 2021, NRM National Vice Chairperson or Chairman for Karamoja. In 2011-2016, Member of Parliament, Moroto Municipality. 2011-2016, NRM District Secretary for Publicity. 2006, Sub-County NRM General Secretary. 2001, NRM Coordinator for Youth in Teso, Karamoja, and Kapchorwa. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I wish to extend my heartfelt sympathies and condolences to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, the NRM Chairman, the family, friends, and the entire Karamoja region upon this great loss of a first-rate politician. May the soul of Honorable Aleper Simon Peter rest in eternal peace. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm representing a leader of opposition who is out in court because of some members of parliament on our side who were arrested as they were accessing their office at National Unity Platform headquarters. And Mr. Speaker, let me take the motion now. Statement in secondment of a motion for resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Simon Aleper, former Aleper, former MP Moroto Municipality. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion to honor the memory of the late Honorable Simon. We are gathered here today in profound sorrow and deep respect to pay tribute to a colleague who has served in this parliament and in other capacities. His leadership and tragically cut short in a devastating accident that claimed his life. As we reflect on the impact of his contributions, we are also reminded of the significant loss that our nation has endured. This solemn occasion serves as a poignant reminder of the lasting legacy left by Honorable Simon Aleper. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, honorable colleagues, his contribution to our aunt country was not in doubt, and his loss is deeply felt by all who knew him, especially the people of Karamoja region. However, Honorable Speaker, how much longer must we witness our people dying due to accidents? Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to draw your attention to the concerning issues of road accidents in Uganda. Alarming statistics have shown a persistent increase in fatalities and injuries. The annual performance report released by the Uganda Police Force for the year 2023 revealed a total of 23,608 road crashes, with 4,179 of them being fatal and 12,487 classified as serious crashes. Additionally, Right Honorable Speaker, the report indicates that more than half of all people road crashes were caused by overspeeding. Uganda's roads have become increasingly perilous, with thousands of lives lost each year due to road accidents, underscoring the need for comprehensive strategies beyond law enforcement. Facts such as reckless driving, poor road conditions, and inadequate vehicle maintenance contribute significantly to the high rate of accidents. Tackling these challenges necessitates the involvement of multiple stakeholders, including government, agencies, private sector players, and the general public. Right Honourable Speaker, we have repeatedly urged the government to prioritize the development and maintenance of road infrastructure. Poorly designed and maintained roads significantly contribute to the road accidents. Investing in better road networks, clear signage, and effective traffic management systems can reduce accident rates. Additionally, policies promoting road safety, educating, and stringent vehicle inspection regulations are essential. The government must work collaboratively with the local authorities and communities to implement these measures effectively. Right Honourable Speaker, reports of our colleague's death indicate that he was involved in a head-on collision with a truck that crashed into his vehicle. Our highways should be dual carriageways, but many times government says we don't have adequate resources to build them. It is not true that resources are inadequate. Funds are often misallocated and lost to corruption. The money lost to graft could build dual carriage roads on all highways. This is a call for the government to combat corruption and honor the legacy of Honorable Aleper. Honorable Speaker, the energy being invested in quelling peaceful protesters against corruption should instead be deployed to fight corruption such that we can have resources available to develop our country. Honorable Speaker, it is also imperative that we address the critical issues within our healthcare system. The unfortunate passing of not Honorable just Aleper, but many others could have been prevented if we had a functional care system. Our hospitals are inadequate, lacking proper intensive care units, essential medical supplies, and a sufficient number of medical personnel. Without immediate action, we risk losing more lives of our citizens. A few weeks ago, Honourable Speaker, the government made the disappointing choice of redirecting crucial funds from improving our struggling health system to support ROCO. This decision made by government demonstrates a lack of consideration for the well-being of Uganda citizens who depend on accessible and high-quality health care. No wonder Honorable Aleper had been giving out some handouts, such as bensins to every mother that gave birth at the missionary hospital in Moroto, and this is a testimony of the ailing healthcare system. Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, during the 9th Parliament, where Honourable Aleper was, this House passed a motion urging government to provide better funding and equipment for health facilities located along major highways to adequately handle emergencies, especially for road accident victims. However, government did not support the initiative.
Information, colleague.
The right honourable
Information.
Mr. Speaker, I think you need to educate the member about the proceedings of this sitting.
I think it's important.
Please, Honourable, you know you don't have my permission. And number two, I've sent you a note. I've sent you a note. Read it, please, and take action.
And Mr. Speaker, he was in the 9th Parliament. I don't know whether he has mastered the proceedings of Parliament of this nature. So, right now, Speaker, Uganda is among the countries with a non-functioning ambulance system. If we had a functional ambulance system that could respond to emergencies in real time, many lives would be saved. We need to prioritize the lives in Ugandan citizens. I am saddened by the passing of Honorable Aleper, who was my classmate at the Lord Development Center. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and may we all find strength during this time. I extend my heartfelt condolences to his family, the nation, and the people of Karamoja. Right on the Speaker, as I conclude, I think we need to pay more attention, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of marking our roads. Mr. Speaker, while driving at night, even other countries we have gone, Tanzania, Rwanda, roads are marked. They paint them so that these drivers can see clearly where they're driving. People lose lines at night. There is a honourable member, former member of parliament here, still is a treasurer of NRM, He was our DP member by that time. He survived an accident. And that is the key. What we have along our road, Mr. Speaker, is one, that where there is reduced speed, police is available. But even they are not road signs, but they arrest people. The issue, most of our highways are not painted, they are lacking markings. And whenever I ask UNRA, they will state that's the work of Ministry of Works. When you go to Ministry of Works, they refer you back to UNRA. And as a result, people driving at night lose direction, overtaking each other, and that's very important. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, may I, through you, Mr. Speaker, ask the Prime Minister. This House, on several occasions, we have asked the Prime Minister to bring a bill dealing with how we bring members of Parliament, people who have passed on, some people to Parliament, so that we give them tribute. I would have seen Father Lokodo coming here. I would have wished the late Matthias Mukenya appearing here. But government, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, have failed to bring a law here. In the Parliament, we process it so that we stop these arguments. Why are they bringing Sewungu and they are leaving his mother behind? Why are they bringing this one and they're not bringing the other person? We need equity, and the only solution and remedy to this is by bringing that law in Parliament. We pass it, and we know how we bring such big people. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you.
She is more interested in the other seconding. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Thank you
Very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Once again, my name is Nsanja Patrick Kayongo, Member of Parliament in Tenjeru South, which is situated in Kayonga District. I am an independent Member of Parliament, and for the record, we are 74 independent members of Parliament, including the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is my second term in Parliament. And in the 9th Parliament as well, I was on. We are grateful as members of Parliament, but also what must be known here is that death is a fact of life. We are grateful, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, sir, in times like this, a lot is lingering in our minds. I thought, having interacted closely with the late, allow me share 2 experiences, giving the background for the love I have for the Karamoja sub-region and the Karamojong people as a whole. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the 9th Parliament, we lost a colleague member who was the then woman representative, the Honorable Serena Nevanda. And I was closely, I collected the signature. I was closely related in the collecting of the signatures for the recall of Parliament, because then it was in recess. Me and the Honorable Chiwanda Subi of Mitiana North then. Mr. Speaker, sir, at the time we were trying to collect signatures from Karamoja sub-region members of Parliament, I can tell you it was a good reflection, because they exhibited spirit of togetherness, the spirit of collectiveness, and solidarity. The other experience, Mr. Speaker, sir, I can talk about when I joined Makerere University for my law degree. I met a Karamojong girl with whom we studied in the same class. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have kept the friendship. We have kept the friendship from 2004 to date, and our friendship is like this, tight. And I can confirm to you, honorable members, I did not find any difficulty with building a concrete friendship with the late. And that is why most of the Karamojong members of Parliament here from Karamoja sub-region, they are indeed my good friends, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. Yeah, she's a friend, and she's around town here. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to borrow the wording of the Right Honorable Prime Minister while she was moving the motion. Somewhere on page 2, under her justification, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to quote verbatim. She said that the late Honorable Aleper was a competent professional in handling social and technical work. He was able to work in the field under emergency conditions in a multicultural environment, and this ably portrayed in his career, giving the various departments where he worked and the positions he held. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would want to make it known to the members here, because then in our interactions with the late, he used to emphasize the issue of loyalty and respect, especially when we are in a multi-party system of governance. Even in the arguments we made, me and him, were to the effect that we were wondering why party members were not according enough respect to the top leadership of their parties. We were wondering about our generation, which doesn't respect elected leaders. We kept wondering why up to today, members in various political parties do not accord themselves respect, even in situations like this. Other than speaking politics all the time, we have got to respect each other and respect situations, especially when we are colleague members. Right, Honorable Speaker, just yesterday, but one, the Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, was here, making a very genuine and humble appeal in regard to reasonableness and patience with the road users and the contractors who are constructing our roads. He appealed to us to always be patient to the contractors, because this is very key. We appropriate money here, it goes to the ministry, to the various contractors, but we are not patient, especially when they are doing their work. So the appeal was, it is always important for us to give them enough time as they do the construction, because they must be variable work that is exhibited on all roads. Actually, Mr. Speaker, sir, the key factors that cause accidents are 3. The first one being overspeeding, when you overspeed. And the second one, reckless driving. Now, you would sum it all when somebody negligently drives, because then you do not foresee, and you end up dying on spot, as it is being indicated here in the motion. It was very, very unfortunate. Mr. Speaker, sir, lastly, I would want to urge members of parliament here, especially in situations like this. It is important and required of us to always not do politicking, because when we are here, like we are paying a tribute for the late, it is typically a fact of life. For instance, Mr. Speaker, sir, we needed to attend in full numbers here in the House to pay tribute for a colleague here, because members of parliament from Karamoja sub-region have always been supportive in all matters, including our deliberations here. I want to officially express my dismay. We needed to attend, for whatever excuse, because Aleper was a serious and competent member of parliament. I want to thank those that have been able to attend this session. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you.
I want to retaliate by borrowing the same wording of our Prime Minister here, the Right Honorable Nabanja, by extending our heartfelt sympathies and condolences. First, to the area member of Parliament of Moroto Municipality, our brother Adome Francis. To the bereaved family, to His Excellency General Museveni, the chairman of NRM, the family, friends, and the entire Karamoja region upon the great loss of our brother here, whom we termed as a first-rate politician. The country has indeed lost a first-rate politician. Very, very unfortunate. We will stand to remember his contribution. We will keep following his deeds. And most importantly, we will keep him and the bereaved family in prayers. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable, for the members who are going to contribute to the debate, I will request you control yourselves on time, move us, so that we can have as many colleagues as possible contributing. So the debate opens now, and I will start with Honorable Honorable Dome Francis, followed by Honorable Chia Remegio, followed by Honorable Esther Nyakuli.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to pay tribute to my and also brother, the late Honorable Aspro. We actually popularly called him Aspro, but I also want to thank the President for according him an official burial. I want to thank all the colleagues present here. It's a very big loss. We have lost one of the top politicians from the sub-region. Aleper was very instrumental, especially when it came to issues to do with the region. Right now, I represent the people of Moroto Municipality, but I want to assure you that we have been working closely, and we had so many things that we shared, especially the plan for the region. Recently, as the National Planning Authority was moving around within Karamoja sub-region, Honorable Aleper was very, very instrumental in guiding them in coming up with a 10-year plan, development plan for the region. He actually called us for meetings. We sat down, came up with whatever he wanted us to share with the NPA, and he contributed very, very strong points, which I believe will move Karamoja sub-region forward. But above all, I want to thank government for recognizing him, because indeed he has done a lot. He has really done a lot, although he has gone at a very bad time when we still needed him. He also fought so hard for this peace that is being enjoyed at the moment in Karamoja. He was very vocal. He was a man that stood very firm when it came to issues. That is why he was also known, he had the common name, the rock solid. That means if he stood, he wouldn't hesitate in any way. He moved forward to ensure that he drove his point home. I am not going to say much, but I want to thank you, colleagues, once more for coming to pay respect to him. And I also plead that if you get opportunity to come to Karamoja, please come along with us so that we can send him peacefully. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Just before Honorable...
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to extend my sincere condolences to the bereaved family of my uncle, Simon Peter Aleper. Honorable, I extend my sincere condolences to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is the chairman of NRM, and indeed all the NRM leaders, colleagues, members of parliament, and all the people of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I met the Honorable Simon Aleper in the 9th Parliament. I did not work with him closely in the committee, but I worked very closely with him here in the plenary, because incidentally, he was not by any chance in the same committee with me. But, Mr. Speaker, I stand here to state that the Honorable Simon Peter Aleper was a very steadfast leader who stood for very clear and correct virtues and would always stand and speak about what he stood for very loudly and clearly here in the House and also outside without mincing words. And it was therefore very easy to work with him because he would always speak whatever was in his heart. He was a nationalist who believed that all the people of Uganda, from the north, east, south, west, or central, if you'd like to call it, were all supposed to benefit from government programs equally. And whenever he would stand to articulate issues in this House, he would not narrow down his arguments to Karamoja alone, but he would widen the argument to benefit all the people of Uganda. So he believed in the principle of NRM, of nationalism. Mr. Speaker, as a member of NRM, rising to serve at the level of SEC means that he was an accomplished NRM leader. Because as you note, Mr. Speaker, there was a time when we used to vote for them, and he would normally get almost 100% across the country. So the NRM as a party has lost a distinguished party member who would always stand to speak in light of the NRM programs, in the radios, in the House here, also when he's engaging the members of the community. Mr. Speaker, the uncle lying here believed in democracy 100%. In his belief of democracy, he knew that there are special interest groups in this country, and he detested discrimination based on tribe, religion, gender, age, etc. The Honorable Simon Aleper is one of the members of NRM who would always remind whoever would like to hear that Ugandans should pursue the politics of interest as opposed to the politics of biology. And Mr. Speaker, the few times I've sat in SEC, he has always spoken out his mind and wants to solve a problem through dialogue, constructive criticism, without hiding anything. As a member of Ateker community, Mr. Speaker, as you heard me call him uncle, the Honorable Simon Peter Aleper always stood out to support the cultural ceremonies and always campaigned for all the Ateker community to work together with other cultural groups across the country, and he would always remind us that these cultures in diversity should be a unifying factor, but also would always quick to intervene to say that we should attract investors and tourists to the Ateke region, including Karamoja sub-region. Mr. Speaker, we are going to miss his input in our forthcoming ceremonies, the Karamoja Cultural Day, and also the Teso Cultural Day, and also most importantly, the biggest ceremony that we are going to host for the first time, where we had hoped we were going to invest on his rich experience in organizing the cultural ceremonies. Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Simon Peter Aleper detested corruption in the strongest terms possible. He spoke against corruption in all fora, and I think this House has a leave to borrow from the strong stance that he had against corruption. On issues surrounding the accident, Mr. Speaker, I personally do not have the details. It is not very easy for me to delve into discussing issues surrounding that accident, but we all heard that it was a head-on collision, and we expect that the police and the Ministry of Works should be working in light with getting a clear statement for all of us. But on issues to do with road carnage, I would like to call upon all of us to be conscious enough to do our part. Because the police will tell you it's either human error, it is the road. In this case, Mr. Speaker, that road is smooth. The road between Iganga and Tirinyi is smooth. So for this case, it may have been another error. But I know that some parts of the road sometimes are being widened in order to address the issues of them being black spots. Maybe the Ministry of Works and Transport would like to come here with a statement on how far government is making, or the Right Honorable Prime Minister is here, making steps in addressing those black spots. But largely, I call upon all of us to pay attention to our part in terms of road carnage. As national leaders, we have a greater part in making an input in curbing down the issue of road carnage. I thank the President for according the Honorable Simon Peter Aleper an official burial. And to answer the question of Honorable Seungu, Cabinet has already discussed the bill that you are talking about. It is now in the first Parliamentary Council, and it will subsequently be presented by the Right Honorable Prime Minister when it is ready. You raised healthcare issues and other general issues. Government will look into all those issues because they are for all our good. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and I want to wish my uncle that he rests in peace, and may God sustain the bereaved. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Vice President. Honorable Machia, I had already picked colleagues.
Office, colleagues, the late, when we heard about the accident, as members of Parliament,
Yes,
the
sir.
first call,
Honorable Chair, honorable colleagues, even the special sitting, you must adhere to the dressing code of this House. Please just check yourselves. If you know you're not okay, do the necessary. Continue, Honorable Chair.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought this was a special sitting where you can allow us to relax a bit. But anyway, we are grieving. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you and colleagues. When we heard about the information filtered through the night about this unfortunate incident, the first call was to the Speaker of Parliament. And colleagues, I want to thank our Right Honorable Madam Speaker for responding to us as colleague members of Parliament. She was able to wake up in the middle of the night, get in touch with the Air Plus Funeral Services, together with the Captain Mime Kula, and the late was, we were able to get the body from Iganga, get it treated, and being brought to Mulago. Mr. Speaker, we want to thank, through you, to thank the Speaker and your office for that response. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Central Executive Committee and the President himself for being in touch throughout this terrible time and quickly saying now at this level of Central Executive Committee that it should be accorded an official burial. Mr. Speaker and colleagues, I want to correct a write-up of my brother, Honorable Seungu. Most of you know Tirenyi Road from that corner called Bukona. Honorable Aleper was knocked at around 1 a.m. on a straight road. Before where he was knocked, there are humps, and he was coming from Bale, coming to Kampala, just 6.3 kilometers before joining the Igangam Bugire Toro Highway. The road is so straight, and the way it was knocked, it was not head-on collision. Up to now, the car which is available in the Iganga police, the front is intact. It seems to me, because the car, even if there had been even a knock on the side, and if it was a moving car in motion, it would have overturned. It seems to me that Honorable Aleper had foreseen a trailer coming, and he moved on the side of the road, but the oncoming trailer, we imagine it is a trailer, because the knock on the east door, because it was the one driving, the tire marks are on the side of the door up to today. That trailer, whatever car it is, it was very big, because for a V8, for a tire to reach at your window level, and the tire marks on the side of the car bear the paint of blue and yellow. The car did not overturn. It knocked him on the side, and he died on the spot. So, please, Honorable Seungu, tell your leader of opposition to correct this thing. It's right up. It's not true. Mr. Speaker, we are mourning, but it is now 72 hours, honorable colleagues. 72 hours, and we have not received the report of the whereabouts of the truck, the killer truck. Up to now, no, we have been told that it is unknown. And it seems to me it's going to happen like what happened to Okabe. We want to hear, Mr. Speaker, from government. How far is the Ministry of Internal Affairs? As far as the police, CID, gone with investigation to apprehend the killer truck? In the circumstances that even at the entrance to Tirenyi Highway, there is a camera. There are cameras at the entrance, at that corner. There are cameras along that road. How come up this moment, the people of Karamoja have not been told the whereabouts of the killer truck? Number two, Mr. Speaker, please, we need that statement from government. For a level of Aleper, a member of the Central Executive Committee, up to now, we don't even know whether there is a specialized unit of police that is following up this truck. We have not got any information. At least we members of Parliament, the chairman of Karamoja Parliamentary Group and the family, we have not got any information. As a region, as a family, as a country, of the killer truck. And the more it takes, is you will give people room to say all kinds of noise, to start suspicious talk. Please give us quickly the report on this thing. Get from the cameras, whichever camera is working, to get us the report. Mr. Speaker, number two. Aleper, Karamoja has lost a voice. When Aleper joined the campus in 1996, or even before that in 1994, actually after finishing Morota High School, he didn't have anybody to pay school fees. And we want to thank the people of Cornerstone Academy here, Luero. They one who picked him. And when he went there, he performed very well and joined Makerere. When he finished Makerere, some of the things which are not there is that he joined the cadet course. He actually was in Jinja, cadet officer. At some point, he decided to come out and pursue active politics. He was not chased. Aleper was a person, as a counselor. He preferred dialogue. He would put you through logically, maybe because of his background of doing philosophy and political science and philosophy. He would always want to develop consensus. And he did a lot in the region. When we were in this parliament, he was a secretary publicity for Karamoja Parliamentary Group when I was a secretary, and Honorable Peter Pereira was the chair. We did a lot here, and Sam Lokeris was also the chair. How would Aleper be remembered if now he's here, my brother? How would he like this country to remember him? Aleper was passionate about integrity. He was passionate about changing Karamoja. When he finished Makerere together with a few colleagues of his friends, they formed what we call Forum for the Advancement and Transformation of Karamoja. Security told them, please go down on that. Are you trying to secede or what? They talked them down. Recently, he formed the Karamoja Professional Association, which has been active, Mr. Speaker. They came to you on the issue of KDA, that don't remove KDA, and you have a write-up on what his ideas about why KDA should not be lifted from the law books. His passion was to transform Karamoja. He has participated, as the Prime Minister said, the recent action where he was in Moroto was to negotiate for land, which he succeeded for a cement factory. As we talk now, even the documents which are in police in Iganga are documents that was bring to be signed. He had negotiated for 400 acres for a new cement factory. 500 acres. And the documents are here. He had...
Thank you.
The community in Karamoja...
Just Honorable conclude.
Yeah, community in Karamoja had signed those documents. And he was determined that as we are young people, every time we work together with him, we must ourselves transform Karamoja. We must work to change Karamoja. We must benefit from the minerals, the 50 commercial minerals there, and change the region. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to pray to the gallant NRM party. Aleper was passionate about his children. Even 2 weeks ago, we were discussing how his son, sitting there from SETA, would join my children who are in the States to study engineering, wants to do engineering. He wanted to take most of his children for further studies. If there is anything we could do for that family, remember he's an orphan, his wife is also an orphan. They join hands together to work for those children. If there was anything at all we could do, is to see to it that his children get education. His children get education. Colleagues, even if we are able to get 200,000 per person, it will never go to waste. His wife, we have left with those children, with the job of community development officer at the district. What can she do? Please, Vice President, Madam Prime Minister, if there is anything as a gallant party of NRM that loves Karamoja, and Karamoja loves this country and loves this party, please do something about creating a fund for the education of those children. All of us will be happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable